If you are over 60 and eat avocados regularly, there are a few very specific health situations where this superfood may not be as simple as people make it sound. That does not mean avocados are bad. In fact, for many people, they can be part of a very healthy diet. But after 60, food does not act in a vacuum. It interacts with your kidneys, your medications, your digestion, your circulation, and your metabolism in ways that often get ignored. And that is the real issue. Most people hear that avocados are full of healthy fats, fiber, and potassium, and they stop thinking there. What almost never gets explained is that a food powerful enough to change your blood chemistry in a good way can also create problems in the wrong body, at the wrong dose, or alongside the wrong medication. By the time this is over, you are going to understand 10 important situations where avocados may need more caution than most people realize, especially after 60. Let's start with the biggest one. Mistake number 1 is eating avocados regularly while taking certain blood pressure or heart medications without knowing your kidney function. Most people think of bananas when they think of potassium. But avocados are also very high in potassium. And potassium is one of those nutrients that is absolutely essential in the right range and potentially dangerous when it climbs too high. Your body depends on your kidneys to keep potassium balanced. When kidney function slows down, even quietly, potassium can build up. And that matters even more if you take medications that can also raise potassium levels, including some ACE inhibitors, ARBs, and certain potassium-sparing drugs. That does not mean everyone on blood pressure medicine has to stop eating avocados. It means context matters. If your kidney function is reduced, or if your doctor has ever mentioned potassium, creatinine, or EGFR concerns, a daily avocado habit may not be as harmless as it sounds. Early high potassium often does not feel dramatic. It can look like fatigue, muscle weakness, heaviness, tingling, or palpitations. The safest move is simple. Know your kidney numbers. Ask about your EGFR. Ask whether your potassium has been normal. And if you take medications that affect potassium balance, ask how much high potassium food is reasonable for you. Mistake number 2 is assuming avocado automatically improves blood sugar, no matter what you eat it with. Avocados can absolutely help some meals feel more satisfying, and their fiber and fat can slow digestion. But that does not mean every avocado-based meal is blood sugar friendly. If you pair avocado with refined carbohydrates, large portions, sweet drinks, or heavily processed foods, the metabolic picture changes. A lot of people think avocado toast is always a healthy choice, but white bread, sugary coffee drinks, or juice on the side can turn that meal into something very different. The avocado itself is not the problem, the combination is. After 60, insulin sensitivity is often not what it used to be. Muscle mass may be lower, activity levels may be lower, glucose handling may be slower. In that setting, healthy fat does not give unlimited permission to combine avocado with whatever you want and assume the meal is automatically beneficial. The better question is not, is avocado healthy? The better question is, healthy with what, how much, and for this body? Mistake number 3 is eating avocados that are not fully ripe when your digestive system is already sensitive. Many older adults have more digestive sensitivity than they used to. Sometimes it is from reduced stomach acid. Sometimes it is IBS, medication side effects, slower digestion, or food intolerance patterns that have developed with age. An underripe avocado can be harder to digest, less pleasant chemically, and more likely to trigger bloating or discomfort for some people. It may contain more hard-to-digest compounds, and in some people, especially those sensitive to certain fermentable carbohydrates, that can mean gas, cramping, or digestive irritation. This is where nuance matters. Avocados are not uniquely toxic to most humans in the way they can be to some animals, but underripe fruit may still be harder on the gut. If every time you eat avocado you feel bloated or unsettled, pay attention to ripeness, portion size, and what you ate with it. Sometimes the issue is not avocado as a category. Sometimes it is the amount, the ripeness, or the combination with another trigger food. Mistake number 4 is poor food safety after cutting the avocado. This one gets overlooked constantly. People cut an avocado, use half, wrap the rest, and leave it in the refrigerator for a day or two, as if it is automatically safe. The problem is that the outer skin of produce can carry bacteria, and once a knife passes through that surface into the flesh, contamination can be introduced. For younger, healthy adults, this may never cause a noticeable issue. But after 60, the stakes can be different. Immune defenses may be weaker. Stomach acid may be lower. Recovery from foodborne illness may be much harder. That means food safety matters more, not less. If you are saving half an avocado, keep the pit in if possible. Cover the cut surface tightly, add lemon or lime juice if you like, refrigerate it promptly, and use it quickly. If the texture, smell, or appearance seems off, do not talk yourself into finishing it just because it was expensive. A forgotten half avocado in the fridge is not something to be casual about. Mistake number 5 involves blood thinners, especially warfarin. Warfarin works by interfering with vitamin K activity. Vitamin K is involved in clotting. That is why people on warfarin are often told to be consistent with foods that contain vitamin K. Now, avocados are not usually the first food people think about in this category. Leafy greens get most of the attention, but avocado can still contribute vitamin K intake. And the bigger issue is not that one avocado will cancel out your medication. The bigger issue is inconsistency. If you eat avocados heavily for a few days, then none for a week, then suddenly add more again, your overall vitamin K intake may shift enough to matter, especially when combined with other vitamin K foods. The danger is not necessarily the avocado by itself. It is the unpredictable pattern. If you take warfarin, the safest path is not panic. It is consistency. If avocado is part of your routine, keep the amount relatively stable and make sure your prescribing clinician knows your diet pattern. Warfarin can often be managed with a stable diet. What creates problems is dietary chaos. Mistake number 6 is ignoring mouth or throat symptoms after eating avocado because you assume it cannot be an allergy. A lot of adults think food allergy means hives, swelling, or a dramatic emergency. Sometimes it does, but sometimes the first signs are much milder: tingling lips, an itchy mouth, throat irritation, or a strange scratchy feeling after eating certain fruits. In some people, avocado can be part of what is called oral allergy syndrome, or can overlap with latex fruit syndrome. That means the immune system may react because certain proteins resemble proteins from pollen or latex exposure. This is especially easy to ignore if you have eaten avocados for years and only recently started noticing symptoms. But immune responses can change with time. Tolerance is not always permanent. If avocado consistently causes tingling, itching, mouth irritation, or any unusual throat symptoms, stop dismissing it. It may not mean a severe allergy today, but it is still something worth discussing with a clinician or allergist, especially if symptoms seem to be escalating. Mistake number 7 is combining avocado carelessly with MAOI medications. This is a smaller group of people, but for those affected, it matters a great deal. Some older antidepressants and certain medications used in neurological conditions can fall into the monoamine oxidase inhibitor, or MAOI category. These drugs can interact with tyramine-rich foods in ways that may raise blood pressure sharply. The important point here is not that every avocado is automatically dangerous for everyone on every medication. The important point is that if you are on an MAOI, food interactions are not optional reading. They matter. Some foods become high risk based on ripeness, storage, fermentation, or portion. If you take an MAOI, avocado is something to review specifically with your prescribing doctor or pharmacist, rather than assuming it is fine because it is considered a healthy food. The label healthy does not override medication chemistry. Mistake number 8 is assuming rare conditions do not matter because they are rare. There is a very uncommon genetic condition called cytosterolemia, in which the body absorbs plant sterols abnormally. For people with that condition, foods naturally rich in plant sterols may create health problems rather than benefits. Now, this condition is rare, very rare. Most people watching this do not have it, but it becomes worth discussing if there is a strong personal or family history of unexplained early cardiovascular disease, unusual cholesterol patterns, tendon deposits, or strange lipid findings that never made sense. The key here is not fear, it is perspective. Rare does not mean impossible. And if someone has a very unusual cardiovascular history, it may be worth asking more questions rather than assuming every plant-based cholesterol-lowering food is automatically beneficial in exactly the same way for every body. Mistake number 9 is treating avocado calories as if they do not count because the fats are good fats. This is one of the most common nutrition mistakes people make with healthy foods. Yes, avocado contains predominantly monounsaturated fat, and that can be very heart-friendly in the right context. But healthy fat is still fat, and fat is still calorie-dense. 1 gram of fat contains more than twice the calories of 1 gram of carbohydrate or protein. After 60, metabolism often changes. Muscle mass may decline. Daily movement may be lower. Calorie needs may be lower than they were at 40 or 50. That means portion size matters more than many people realize. For some people, avocado becomes a stealth calorie overload because they treat it as a free food. They add a full avocado to breakfast, guacamole to lunch, slices to salad, and never count any of it because it is healthy. Over time, that can push weight up, especially when combined with other calorie-dense foods. That does not mean avocado causes obesity. It means portion blindness does. For many people, 1/3 to 1/2 of an avocado is a very reasonable portion. A whole avocado every day may be perfectly fine for some active people with higher calorie needs. But for others, it may quietly become more than the body needs. Mistake number 10 is the biggest one of all, treating any single food as if it is universally good or universally bad. That is the trap. The internet loves absolutes. This food saves your heart. This food is toxic. Eat this every day. Never touch this again. Real biology is much messier than that. Avocados are not miracle medicine. They are not poison. They are a potent food with real nutritional strengths and real caution points. Whether they help or hurt depends on your kidneys, your medications, your digestion, your blood thinner use, your portion size, your food safety habits, your allergy history, and your overall metabolic picture. That is why general advice can fail people after 60. What works beautifully in one body can cause trouble in another. So here is the smarter way to think about avocados after 60. First, know your kidney function, especially if you take medications that affect potassium. Second, know your medications well enough to ask about food interactions, especially if you are on warfarin or an MAOI. Third, pay attention to your body. Palpitations, weakness, digestive flare-ups, mouth itching, throat irritation, or repeated bloating after avocado are not random. They are information. Fourth, respect portion size. A smaller amount may give you the benefits without creating unnecessary caloric overload. Fifth, use avocados strategically. One of their real strengths is that their fat can help your body absorb certain nutrients from foods like tomatoes, leafy greens, and colorful vegetables more effectively. In that sense, avocado can work beautifully as a partner food rather than the entire meal. That is the real goal here: precision, not fear. When you understand the science, you do not need to panic over avocados. You just need to know when they fit your body well, when they need to be limited, and when they need a conversation with your doctor or pharmacist. Because after 60, the question is not just, is this food healthy? The better question is this food healthy for me, in this body, with these medications, at this dose, right now? And once you start asking that question, your grocery decisions become a lot smarter.